Picture this. While headlines scream about foreign engineers being detained, a robot quietly works an exhausting 20-hour shift in a car factory without a single complaint, coffee break, or call from home. It's a stark contrast that begs a closer look. Let's start with the massive Hyundai LG Metaplant in Georgia, a battery manufacturing powerhouse jointly run by two of South Korea's leading firms. The numbers are staggering. 23,245 million. Over $7.6 billion poured directly into the region, marking Georgia's largest economic development ever. The plant is set to create 8,500 direct jobs on-site, and, when you count ripple effects across the state, could impact 40,000 positions, generating approximately $4.6 billion annually. Simply put, the Metaplant is poised to become a monumental driver of the American and particularly Georgian economy. But here's where it gets controversial. A recent immigration sweep rounded up more than 300 South Korean workers at the plant. Most of these individuals were highly skilled engineers and technical experts, brought in through Hyundai subcontractors specifically to handle the delicate and highly specialized machinery required for battery production. According to one immigration attorney, no company in the U.S. manufactures the machines used at this facility. That means specialists had to come from abroad, since training American workers to do the same job could take anywhere from 3 to 5 years, time that the operation simply doesn't have. So what went wrong? The issue seems to stem from visa confusion. Those arrested held B-1 business visitor visas, which are typically intended for short-term work. But the timeline for installing and servicing this complex equipment exceeded the permitted stay. Meanwhile, local labor representatives like Christy Hulme in Savannah argue that the Korean workers weren't just assembling machines. They allege these foreign employees were also working in general construction, pouring concrete, welding steel, or fitting pipes. Basically, our labor was being handed over to undocumented immigrants, Hulme claimed, though without solid proof. It's a bold accusation that's sure to stir debate. In fact, isn't it a bit far-fetched to think Hyundai would prefer flying in workers from overseas, paying for their travel and hotels, just to save money on carpentry or plumbing? And this is the part most people miss. While talk about the immigration raid floods the news, something even more radical is happening, almost unnoticed, in another southern auto plant. Down in Spartanburg, South Carolina, at BMW's massive factory, a humanoid robot named Figure 02, developed by the startup Figure, recently made headlines among insiders by successfully completing a marathon 20-hour shift. The robot worked autonomously, moving and handling large sheet metal parts on the production line, never taking a break, never complaining, never distracted. Think about that. 2 full work shifts, but no union requirements for overtime, no fatigue, and no lunch breaks. If you've ever worked on a factory floor or managed one, you know how significant this is. Here's the twist in this story. There's been a tidal wave of public outrage and media commentary about the fate of the foreign engineers, but almost nothing is being said about robots replacing humans so seamlessly. No major labor leaders have taken up arms against the automation quietly rolling onto the production line. Wouldn't you expect at least one union voice to say, now our jobs are being handed to machines? So, I'll leave you with a question that might ignite some debate. Which poses a bigger challenge to American workers? The influx of foreign technical experts, or the introduction of tireless, ever-capable robots? Should we be more concerned about skilled labor coming from overseas, or about robots quietly pushing the boundaries of what a workforce even means? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think robots are the real threat, or is this just the next step in industrial evolution? Sound off in the comments, especially if you see it differently.